Welcome back to the Damon Alexander Home YouTube channel, and in this week's video we discovered the reason why our extension was covered in black mould. I kicked down a wall and G takes health and safety a little bit too far. But before we get into all of that, G and I just want to say a massive thank you, because the first video we uploaded on this channel got over 100,000 views, which is mad. So thank you for all your support and all your kind words. Now, let's get into the action. And we need to rewind to March of this year, where past me is in the living room talking you through our plan. We are now back in the living room, and we've tried to make this space feel a little bit cozier and homely. And to me, nothing screams cozy like these 5 features. Firstly, sofa. It's old, it's stained, it's got a leg missing, and it's resting on the fireplace. Next up, mattress, which, let's face it, we couldn't get up the stairs, and even if we could, we wouldn't be able to fit it in that upstairs bedroom because it's way too small. Next up, you've got to have a TV when you're trying to switch off, and I switch off by watching one of my favourite woodworkers on here. And of course, the 2 remaining items that you need in a cosy living room are a tumble dryer and a fridge freezer. And if you're wondering why the hell have we got these items in this room, the reason is because in this video we need to knock down all of that add-on extension. Well, here is the task at hand. We need to get rid of this whole section of the house. And not only did this extension need to go because of the leaking roof, the damp walls, the blown windows, the dodgy electrics, the rusted radiators, and of course, all that black mould that seems to be everywhere. But the main reason was this huge crack running through the whole width of the floor. It was almost an inch wide in some areas, and so we decided to investigate it. And when we dug a trial hole down the side of the extension to check the foundations, what we found was that it didn't actually have any. And we viewed this property multiple times, so we knew there was an issue that we had to fix here. But once I dug this hole for the foundations, really, it left us with 2 options. We either underpin it or we knock it all down. And as this video goes on and you get to see how this add-on extension has been constructed, insulated and built, hopefully you'll all agree with us that knocking it down and starting from scratch was definitely the right decision. Plus, when you see this extension from the outside, you realise just how ugly and scruffy it really is. Half of it's wooden shingle, the other half unfinished render, with big gaps in the soffits. It just doesn't tie in with the original cottage at all. And so hopefully, by this point, you're also convinced that knocking it down is the only sensible option. We can start again with a completely blank canvas and build a new extension that not only works properly, but actually does this beautiful old cottage justice. And with all that being said, let's just crack on with it. And it's time to knock this mess down. Okay, well, we've made a good, actually, why am I saying we? It's only me on the bloody roof. I've made a good start to stripping this roof, and I'm not a professional, right? You know this, and I'm not pretending to be. However, this is just a mess up here. Like, there's shims under so many of these battens. This lead flashing, is it flashing? I think it's flashing, is just grotty and badly done. There's holes all in the felt and it's not from me. So whoever did this previously, it was just an absolute bodge job. But I tell you what though, it is enjoyable being back up on a roof and you get the nice views everywhere. And it's coming off pretty quickly, so let's carry on, get some time lapses going, and I'll see you on the other end of the roof. Look at the state of that. It just looks like that grip fill stuff just shoved in every single gap. What a mess. And nice straight line. Don't know if you can see that properly. Look at that. It looks more like Eau Rouge, the F1 bloody corner at Belgium. Okay, it's been a couple of days. We've now got all the slates stripped off the roof. Typically there was about an hour of sunshine, and then after that it's just been wind and rain. So that was enjoyable. The part I am impressed about though is I managed to get all of these slates off and didn't break any. So pretty happy with that. Obviously don't film that. In all seriousness though, we have saved a lot of the slates and we'll be able to reuse all of those when it comes to putting the roof back on. So today's plan is get all the battens off, remove the felt and see what wonders are hiding underneath that. On more exciting news though, the skip has arrived and I thought I'd be a great boyfriend and gee, I will give you the honour of putting the first item in the skip. Whatever you want. It's a bit like shopping, but you're just putting something that's crap in the skip.
So I can put you in there?
So my choice is this perfectly good ladder, as you can see, really useful throughout the renovation. It got bent when we put in the treatment plant and all the clay walls collapsed on it. So this is my choice. I've been waiting for months to get a skip, to get rid of this. So here we go, let's christen it. Let the destruction commence.
I mean, that made her happy, but why would you put that in first? I'm just going to have to take that straight back out. It's a waste of space. The ladder being in there, obviously, not G. Huh? No, nothing. So let's crack on with getting these battens off, strip the felt, and see what lies underneath. Let's go. Well, here's the first surprise of the day. I thought we'd be down to insulation, but we're not. We've got this old polycarbonate sheeting, which I assume was his first attempt at building a roof. So, yeah, we've got to get this off. The polycarbonate sheets came off easily, and so did all this insulation that was wedged between the rafters. And up to this point, everything's been a very organised removal of materials. So let's get to the good stuff and start causing some destruction.
In the last episode, I mentioned that being an interior designer, I was really looking forward to finishing this house, doing the interiors and actually making it feel like a home again. But this was right up my street and a lot of fun. Absolute chaos and destruction. We had Dee up on the roof, kicking down all of the roof and plasterboard, and Mum and I were clearing up as we went. And it was so much better than all of that very careful, considered, slow taking down of materials, which is great for the budget, but not as much fun. And I'm here to tell you some good news. If you enjoyed Pillock on a Ladder in the last episode, well, the great news is this episode has a lot more ladder and a hell of a lot more pillock.
With the ceilings all knocked down and the majority of the rafters now off, we could finally get a glimpse inside our cavity walls. And this was when we realised whoever built this add-on extension must have been an absolute maniac. Because what you're looking at here is hundreds, if not thousands, of tiny little pieces of insulation. And the main question that comes to mind is why? Why would you use all these tiny little pieces? Actually, another question would be, how bad are you at cutting that you had that many little bits of offcut? Or did he buy them? I've honestly got no idea what was going through his mind. Or her mind. Let's not be sexist. It could have been a woman who built this. Yeah? There's a lot of questions that remain unanswered. But one thing this does clear up is why we had all that mould on all the inner skins. Because, effectively, we had a kid's ball pit as our cavity, which I don't think is known for being a really good insulator. If anybody has an idea as to why the cavity would have been filled with all these blocks, then feel free to put it in the comments. But as far as I'm concerned, whoever did this was an absolute maniac. Anyway, rant over. Right, we're moving along nicely here. All the roof is now stripped and off. We've still got the stud walls to take down on the inside. I'm just trying to get windows out now. I really don't know what this guy was doing when it came to insulating these cavities, because that is just an absolute state. But yeah, next plan is to get these windows out, and then if we've got time today, we will start taking down all the walls. But for now, let's get the windows done and see where we can get to. What were you worried about? Yeah? Pro. And with the windows taken out and all of our bodies feeling a little bit sore already at the end of day one, we decided to take down the remaining part of these stud walls and then leave it there and head in for dinner. Because let's face it, it couldn't get much worse, could it? Oh wait. No, it definitely could.
Really look forward to sweeping that up.
Right, it's the next morning. It's cold, it's raining, but we've still got to get the rest of this extension down, so let's crack on.
not shoulder barging anything.
Right, ready?
Oh!
See? Ready? 3, 2, 1, go.
Right, where are we at? This is day 4 of knocking down the extension, and I reckon we'll get it done today. Let me show you where we've got up to. So everything on the right hand side is now pretty much gone. Yesterday we tackled all the partition walls, the toilet, the sink and everything internally, so that's all cleared. Looks like we've got more of these foam blocks to get rid of, which will be great fun. And we've just got this last L-shape bit of wall to get rid of. But before any of that, let's start the day right and have a nice cup of coffee. Yeah, cup of coffee, read the morning paper. I don't know why I said that. I've never read the paper in my life. Just have a bit of toast, jam on toast, nice coffee, and let's get this down. Have I mentioned how much I hate the person who put all these little blocks in the wall? Still trying to get rid of them now. I keep finding them in the garden still. It's unbelievable. Also, while I can see all these wires dangling, it's worth mentioning to all of you that we've had all the plumbing capped off, all the electrics have been cut off. There is no danger with all these wires hanging around. We're simply not going to keep them because they're old, they're ancient, and everything needs updating anyway. So it's easier just to rip everything out and start from scratch. Good news, we were about to take down the last bit of stud wall and I was hoping it would come off easily and be a nice, quick clean-up. Yep, that's backfired. More of these sodding blocks.
Might have a bit of an issue with the...
Oh! Thought I'd show you what we're doing with the kitchen window. So all along here, along this wall at counter height, we're going to have a fixed piece of glass that will essentially have this as the view straight out. And this is also where the sun sets as well, so it's just going to be absolutely beautiful to look at the second that you walk into the kitchen.
And after 4 long days, 2 completely rammed skips and 3 very aching bodies, we'd finally reached the end of knocking this thing down. And a huge thank you to G's mum, who was an absolute trooper and a huge help throughout this whole process. But as satisfying as it was to finally see this old, grotty extension gone, this was only the beginning. There was still a lot left to do.
Now, not only is this the living room, the dining room, now the utility room, it's also our site office. So step inside because we've got quite the dilemma that we need to talk to you about. Right, so what we are currently debating is a problem that we have with the side extension. Now, the original plan was that this stone extension on the ground floor is existing and retained, and we essentially build a timber frame above it to get the extra bedroom in. We've had building control here. They asked us to dig a pilot hole to check the foundations, and of course, in the true nature of this house, it hasn't got suitable foundations. So, I mean, who didn't see that coming? So we are back to the options that we had on the back extension when we knocked that down, which is either underpin it or knock it down, start again, and actually put in suitable foundations. So I know the option that I'm leaning towards. I think we're better off to take it down and rebuild. Dees, what's your thoughts?
We can't knock all of that section down. That's such a big job. We've already lost that extension. We'll end up with half the footprint of our house left. Also, those walls, I guarantee, will be about 2 foot thick, solid stone. I don't know how we're going to move it. I don't know where we'll put all of that stone. We just have a huge mound in the garden and we've literally just cleared that. I just don't think it's a good idea. I reckon underpin.
Are you not worried about, the cost and then the fact the walls are all off square?
It's not that I'm not worried about it. I don't think it's the best idea. And that is such a big job.
Yeah, for you.
Yeah, exactly. I'll be the one who's doing it. So, actually, yeah, end discussion. All right, that is it. I'm putting my foot down on this one. We're not knocking this extension down. All of that stays as it is, right? Done.
Done.
So, as I was saying, it makes absolutely no sense to underpin. We might as well just knock this whole extension down. And I would just like to say this was entirely my own decision, and I'm just grateful that G was on board with what I was thinking. Now, we were up against the wire here because in 2 days' time we had workmen arriving who would be starting to dig our foundation trench, and that meant we had to call in some reinforcements. So my brother was up on the roof with me, and down below in the study there was G's mum and stepdad gutting everything out and clearing it, ready for us to knock all of this down. And it was going to be a busy few days, but we thought, with everyone's hands on board, we might just have a chance of getting this done.
Oh, the little leg kick.
Lovely.
Hey. Now, up until this point, we were feeling pretty lucky. We hadn't come across any major surprises like we did in the last extension, until we removed the plasterboard and found this. The stud work underneath was completely over the top, double layered and fixed with what looked like hundreds of flathead screws. It took us a couple of hours to take this down and completely stopped our progress. But eventually we were back at it and thankfully onto the much more satisfying but considerably more back-breaking job of taking down the stone walls. Seeing as Dee did actually admit defeat, for once in his life, about underpinning this extension instead of knocking it down, I will give him credit that he was right about the thickness of these walls. They were 2 foot thick in solid marble stone. But the great news is that
our existing house is made from this, and that is what we need to rebuild our new extensions. So we can save an absolute fortune on stone. It will look really beautiful to tie into the existing cottage, and we were nearly done. We were on the final push here. The weather was finally taking a turn for the better, and we just needed to get this last bit done for the guys arriving on Monday to start our foundations.
Well, it's been a hectic couple of weeks, but we are finally at the stage we needed to be. We've got workmen arriving tomorrow to start the foundations. I'd love to say that we're doing it, but it takes too long. We've got a lot of concrete to get rid of, and it's just easier to get people in that do it all the time. So foundations will be starting tomorrow, but this is the stage we're at now. We've got the original extension knocked down. We've got this add-on extension now knocked down as well. All the pipes have been cut off. Electrics have been sorted for now, but a lot needs to happen with that still. So we're ready to basically get foundations done, and then we can start building back up. Thank you very much to everyone who's helped us in this video. Thank you very much to all of you for watching this video. It'll be a few weeks until the next one comes out, but hopefully you'll stick around and you'll enjoy that one too. Right, we're going in to relax. See you in a bit. Bloody hell, what a couple of weeks. Now, in the last video, we had a few people leave comments saying they were concerned about the fact we'd moved the greenhouse from this area, where it was in sun, to now being in the corner of the garden, where it's in shade. And I'm here to tell you, all of those comments were wrong, because currently it is 12:45 in the day, and the area where the greenhouse was is already in shade. And if you have a look to where we've moved the greenhouse to, it is in glorious sunshine. And it will stay like that for probably another 6 or so hours. So was any of this segment needed? No. But did I need to get my inner pettiness out and prove those comments wrong? Yes, indeed. Oh, that's now just gone 3 o'clock. And it looks like the greenhouse is still in full sunlight.
Do you feel better now?
Yep, just wanted to nip that in the bud, yeah? Right, see you later. Oh, and like, subscribe, share, comment, and all of those things. Take care, we'll see you in a bit.